Confucius, a name that resonates through the corridors of Chinese history, stands as one of the most influential figures in the annals of human thought. Born in 551 BCE in the state of Lu, during a tumultuous period known as the Spring and Autumn period, his life was set against a backdrop of political fragmentation and moral decay. His birth name was Confu, and he was known as Confuzi, or Master Con, to his disciples. The world would come to know him by the Latinized version of his name, Confucius, a name synonymous with wisdom, virtue, and the enduring power of ideas. His early life was marked by modest circumstances. His father, a minor official who died when Confucius was just a child, leaving his mother to raise him in poverty. Despite these hardships, Confucius developed a profound love for learning, dedicating himself to the study of the classical arts and the traditions of the Zhou dynasty, which he considered a golden age of social harmony and just rule. He believed that the restoration of these ancient values was the key to rescuing society from the chaos of his time. His philosophical system, which would later be known as Confucianism, is a complex tapestry of moral, social, and political thought. At its core lies the concept of Ren, often translated as benevolence or humaneness, which represents the ultimate virtue of compassion and empathy for others. Confucius taught that Ren was not an abstract ideal, but a practical guide for everyday life, to be cultivated through self-discipline and a genuine concern for the well-being of others. Closely linked to Ren is the principle of Li, or ritual propriety. Li encompasses a vast range of behaviors, from grand state ceremonies to the simple courtesies of daily interaction. For Confucius, the practice of Li was essential for maintaining social order and for cultivating a sense of respect and reverence in all human relationships. It was the external expression of the inner virtue of Ren. Another cornerstone of his teaching is Yi, or righteousness, which refers to the moral disposition to do good and the ability to recognize and act upon what is right in any given situation. Yi is the moral compass that guides a person's actions, ensuring that they are not motivated by self-interest, but by a commitment to justice and fairness. Complementing these virtues is Zhi, or wisdom, the ability to distinguish between right and wrong, and Qin, or integrity, the quality of being honest and trustworthy. Together, these 5 virtues form the foundation of the Confucian ideal of the Junzi, or gentleman, a person of exemplary moral character who serves as a role model for others. The Junzi is not born, but made, forged through a lifelong process of self-cultivation and learning. The primary source of Confucius's teachings is the Analects, a collection of his sayings and conversations, compiled by his disciples after his death. The Analects is not a systematic philosophical treatise, but a series of vignettes and dialogues that offer glimpses into the mind of the master. Through its pages, we see Confucius as a teacher, a mentor, and a man deeply concerned with the moral and spiritual well-being of his students and his society. The Analects has been one of the most widely read and studied books in China for over 2 millennia, its teachings shaping the minds and values of countless generations. Confucius's political philosophy was a direct extension of his moral teachings. He believed that a just and effective government could only be achieved if rulers themselves were models of virtue. He advocated for a government run by educated and morally upright officials, chosen for their merit rather than their birth. This idea, radical in his time, laid the groundwork for the development of the Chinese civil service examination system, a meritocratic system that would dominate Chinese bureaucracy for centuries. He taught that rulers should govern with compassion and by moral example, rather than by force and coercion. He who governs by means of his virtue, Confucius said, may be compared to the North Star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it. The influence of Confucius on Chinese culture is immeasurable. His emphasis on education as a means of personal and social transformation led to the establishment of a strong scholarly tradition in China. For centuries, the Confucian classics were the core curriculum for all educated Chinese, their teachings permeating every aspect of Chinese life, from family relationships to the structure of the state. The family was the basic unit of society in the Confucian view, and filial piety, the respect and reverence of children for their parents, was considered the most fundamental of all virtues. This emphasis on the family has had a profound and lasting impact on Chinese social structure and values. Confucius's life was not one of unbroken success. He wandered for many years, from state to state, seeking a ruler who would put his teachings into practice, but he never found one. He was often met with indifference, and sometimes even with hostility. Yet he never lost faith in his mission to restore harmony to the world. He returned to his home state of Lu in his later years and dedicated himself to teaching a small group of loyal disciples. It was through these disciples that his teachings were preserved and transmitted to future generations. After his death in 479 BCE, his disciples and their followers continued to spread his ideas, and Confucianism gradually became the dominant ideology of the Chinese state. The legacy of Confucius has not been without its critics. In the 20th century, during a period of intense social and political upheaval in China, Confucianism was often blamed for the country's backwardness and its inability to modernize. The May 4th movement of 1919, a pivotal event in modern Chinese history, saw many intellectuals calling for the rejection of Confucian values in favor of Western science and democracy. During the Cultural Revolution, Confucius was vilified as a symbol of feudal oppression, and his temples and monuments were destroyed. However, in recent decades, there has been a revival of interest in Confucianism, both in China and around the world. Many people are turning to the ancient wisdom of Confucius for guidance in a rapidly changing and often bewildering world. His teachings on ethics, education, and good governance are seen as having a timeless relevance. The emphasis on harmony, respect, and the common good offers a compelling alternative to the individualism and materialism of modern society. Confucius's influence extends far beyond the borders of China. His teachings have had a profound impact on the cultures of Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, and his ideas have been studied and admired by thinkers and scholars around the world. He is a figure of universal significance, a teacher whose ideas have shaped the lives of billions of people for over 2.5 millennia. His vision of a world governed by virtue and compassion continues to inspire and challenge us today. The story of Confucius is the story of the enduring power of a single individual to change the course of history, not through force of arms, but through the force of his ideas. His life is a testament to the belief that education and moral cultivation are the keys to creating a better world for all. The sage's wisdom, though ancient, continues to echo in the modern age, a timeless reminder of the importance of humanity, integrity, and the pursuit of a more just and harmonious society. The journey of Confucius, from a humble scholar to a revered sage, is a powerful narrative of perseverance and unwavering commitment to one's principles. His teachings, though rooted in the specific context of ancient China, speak to the universal human aspiration for a life of meaning and purpose. The enduring relevance of Confucianism lies in its profound understanding of human nature and its practical approach to the cultivation of virtue. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, the teachings of Confucius offer a valuable source of inspiration and guidance, a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. The quiet sage of Lu, who lived and taught so long ago, remains a powerful voice for our time. His words a timeless call to our better selves. Confucius's physical appearance, though not described in great detail in the earliest sources, has been imagined and depicted in countless works of art throughout the centuries, often portrayed as a tall, venerable figure with a long beard, his face etched with the wisdom of a lifetime of study and reflection. He is said to have been a man of great physical strength in his youth, skilled in archery and charioteering, the traditional pursuits of the gentlemen of his time. His passion for music was also well known. He believed that music had the power to cultivate the emotions and promote social harmony, once becoming so captivated by a piece of music that he forgot the taste of meat for 3 months. The curriculum he established for his students was based on the 6 arts: rites, music, archery, charioteering, calligraphy, and mathematics, a holistic approach to education designed to develop both the mind and the body. He saw education not merely as the acquisition of knowledge, but as a transformative process that shaped a person's character and prepared them for a life of service to others. His teaching methods were Socratic in nature, encouraging his students to think for themselves and to engage in a process of constant questioning and self-examination. "I do not open up the truth to one who is not eager to get knowledge, nor help out anyone who is not anxious to explain himself," he said. "When I have presented one corner of a subject to anyone, and he cannot from it learn the other 3, I do not repeat my lesson. The social hierarchy envisioned by Confucius was a rigid one, with the emperor at the top, followed by scholars, farmers, artisans, and merchants. However, this hierarchy was not based on birth, but on moral worth and intellectual attainment, a revolutionary idea in a society dominated by hereditary aristocracies. He believed that everyone, from the emperor down to the commoner, had a role to play in the great drama of society, and that social harmony could only be achieved if everyone fulfilled their duties and responsibilities with sincerity and dedication. The concept of the rectification of names was central to his political philosophy. He argued that for society to function properly, names must correspond to realities. Let the ruler be a ruler, the minister a minister, the father a father, and the son a son, he declared, meaning that each person should live up to the title they hold. The influence of Confucianism on the legal system of China was also profound. While Confucius was not opposed to laws and punishments, he believed that they were a last resort, to be used only when moral persuasion had failed. He argued that a society governed by li and moral example would be far more stable and harmonious than one governed by fear and coercion. If the people be led by laws, and uniformity sought to be given them by punishments, they will try to avoid the punishment, but have no sense of shame, he said. If they be led by virtue, and uniformity sought to be given them by the rules of propriety, they will have the sense of shame, and moreover will become good. This preference for moral suasion over legalistic rule has had a lasting impact on Chinese legal culture. The rituals and ceremonies of Confucianism, though often seen as empty formalism by outsiders, were for Confucius and his followers a vital means of cultivating and expressing the deepest human emotions. The elaborate mourning rites for the dead, for example, were not merely a social convention, but a way of channeling grief and showing respect for one's ancestors. The intricate ceremonies of the court were designed to instill a sense of awe and reverence for the political order. For Confucius, the sacred was not to be found in a transcendent realm of gods and spirits, but in the here and now, in the web of human relationships that make up our lives. The spread of Confucianism was a slow and gradual process. It was not until the Han Dynasty, several centuries after his death, that Confucianism was officially established as the state orthodoxy. During this period, the Confucian classics were canonized, and a system of education and examination based on these texts was established. This system would remain in place for almost 2,000 years, ensuring the dominance of Confucian thought in Chinese intellectual and political life. The influence of Confucianism waxed and waned over the centuries, sometimes facing challenges from rival schools of thought like Taoism and Buddhism, but it always managed to reassert its dominance. In the modern era, the encounter with the West posed a profound challenge to the Confucian tradition. The military and technological superiority of the Western powers forced many Chinese intellectuals to question the validity of their own cultural heritage. The fall of the Qing dynasty in 1911 marked the end of the imperial system that had been so closely intertwined with Confucianism for centuries. The subsequent decades were a period of intense intellectual ferment, as Chinese thinkers grappled with the question of how to build a new and modern China. Despite these challenges, the spirit of Confucius continues to endure. His teachings have been reinterpreted and adapted to meet the needs of a new era. The emphasis on education, the importance of the family, the pursuit of moral excellence, and the ideal of a harmonious society are all values that continue to resonate with many people in China and beyond. The sage of Khufu, who lived in a time of great turmoil and uncertainty, offers a message of hope and resilience for our own troubled times. His life and teachings are a powerful reminder that the pursuit of wisdom and virtue is a journey without end, a journey that is as relevant today as it was 2,500 years ago. The enduring legacy of Confucius is a testament to the timeless power of ideas to shape the course of human history and to inspire us to build a better world. The gentle yet firm voice of the Master continues to echo through the ages, a constant source of guidance and inspiration for all who seek to live a life of purpose and meaning. The shadow of Confucius looms large over the vast landscape of Chinese civilization, his teachings woven into the very fabric of its culture. The wisdom of the Analects, once the exclusive domain of scholars and officials, is now accessible to all. Its timeless truths, a source of comfort and enlightenment in a world that is often chaotic and confusing. The path of the Junzi, the noble person, is a path that is open to all who are willing to embark on the journey of self-cultivation and moral transformation. The dream of a world governed by benevolence and righteousness, a world where all people live in harmony and peace, is a dream that is as powerful and compelling today as it was in the time of Confucius. The quiet revolution that he began so long ago continues to unfold, its impact felt in the hearts and minds of people all over the world. The teacher from Lu, who sought to restore the harmony of a bygone era, has become a teacher for all humanity, his wisdom a precious gift to a world in desperate need of it.